Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm from amandacrochets.com, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be sharing with you my newest crochet pattern, the baby shell blanket. I really wanted to make another shell blanket as I love making the shell stitch blankets and different variations of them. I will link below my Tidal Waves baby blanket that I just made recently, and that's also using a variation on a shell blanket. So I was searching online and I came across a similar technique, and I knew I wanted to recreate that technique with my own blanket, which you see right here before you. So the baby shell blanket is made using worsted weight yarn in a self-striping color. However, you can make this blanket in just about any color combination that you would like. You can make it in a solid color, you can make your own stripes, you can make it variegated, whatever you would really like. The possibilities are truly endless. Also, if you end up making this blanket, please share your finished product by tagging me on Instagram using the hashtag AmandaCrochets. I'd love to see what other colors you come up with for inspiration for this blanket. So for the baby shell blanket, I use Caron Lovely Cake in Dusted Cream. Again, you can use any number 4 worsted weight yarn you like. And this blanket ended up being 29 by 29 inches long and wide, so it's a good square size blanket. And for the border, I just ended up doing a simple double crochet border, as I really wanted the texture and the blankets, the main focus of the blanket, be on the main part of the blanket. And because it's that shell, you get a nice texture to it and you get some good definition to it. And because it is self-striping, you can see the different colors that are in this blanket. So let's get started with today's tutorial. So as I mentioned, you're going to need Caron Cakes yarn. This is from their Lovely Layers collection, and I ended up using 2 cakes of this, and this is this is Dusted Cream, and it's a number 4 worsted weight medium yarn, and they recommend a USH crochet hook. However, I'm going up a hook size, and I'm actually using a size I 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. I felt like this is a little bit of a thicker yarn, so I felt like using a size bigger crochet hook worked well for me. Plus, I really wanted to get that nice drape to it. This is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. It is 8.5 ounces or 240 grams. It's 445 yards or 407 meters. Dusted cream, like I said, so you get those pretty colors. If you wanted to use an alternative, you can always use this yarn, which I'll be using for today's tutorial, which is I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby. And this is a nice soft alternative if you are allergic to wool, or if you just don't happen to have that yarn in your stash. So to change the size of your blanket, you're going to be making a chain multiple of 4 plus 2. This means you'll multiply any number by 4 to get your desired width, and once you're satisfied, you will go ahead and add 2 more chains to the very end. You will also be working in the chain 2 space of each shell and a single crochet between each shell stitch throughout the entire pattern, which I will get to in a minute. So for the baby shell blankets, I ended up making 102 chains. So that's a multiple of 4, and then you get 100, and then I added 2 more chains to the very end. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to be doing a chain of 22. And again, if you wanted to change up the sizing, you want to make any multiple of, you want to have a number multiplied by 4 and then add 2 more stitches onto the very end. So to make a chain, you're going to yarn over your hook, pull through that loop on your hook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 21, and 22. So now that you have your chain, you're going to go into the second chain from your hook, so the loop on your hook does not count. You're going to count 1 and 2, and in the second chain from your hook, you're going to make a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So to make a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook into that second chain from your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops, and that completes your single crochet. Next you're going to chain 2, so 1 and 2, and all in that very same space you're going to make another single crochet, and that completes your baby shell. Next you're going to skip 1 chain, and in the chain after that you're going to make a single crochet. So you just worked in this chain right here, so you're going to skip this one, and in the chain after that you're going to make a single crochet. So again, insert your crochet hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. Next you're going to alternate and do this for the remaining of your chain. So in the next chain you're going to skip, and the chain after that you're going to go ahead and make that baby shell. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So skip this next chain, and in the chain after that make your baby shell. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. And again, you just want to alternate this and complete your row. So again, skip your next chain, in the chain after that you make a single crochet, skip 1 chain, chain after that you make your baby shell, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Skip a chain, chain after that you want to make a single crochet, skip the next chain, chain after that make your baby shell, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Skip the next chain, and the chain after that single crochet, skip the next chain, and the chain after that your baby shell, which is again your single, chain 2, single crochet, skip the next chain, chain after that single crochet, and then you have 2 chains left. In your very last chain you're going to make your baby shell. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. And this is what your first row will look like. You can see that little baby shell poking up a little bit. So to move on to row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now you created the chain 2 spaces when you made your shell. So right here in your very first shell, so you have your single crochet, your chain 2s, and your single crochet. Right in that center with your chain 2, you're going to start right there, and you're going to make a single crochet in that first shell. So just go right in between and make your single crochet. Next you're going to make your baby shell in a single crochet between the shell. So that means you're going to find your single crochet, which is right here, and you're going to make your shell. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So when you make any kind of shell stitch, in order to make it that shell or that wavy look, you want to alternate your shells. So in row 1 your shells are going to be here, and then in row 2 your shells are going to be on either side of that shell from the previous row. And that is how you get that shell look. So when you come up to your next shell, you're going to go in between that chain 2 and make a single crochet. You're going to find that next single crochet, which is right here, and you're going to make your shell. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, all in that same single crochet. In your next shell, you're going to find that chain 2 space and make a single crochet. Next, you're going to skip this single crochet, which is part of your shell stitch, and in the next single crochet you're going to make your baby shell, which again is your single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet, all in that same stitch. In the next chain 2, you're going to make a single crochet. In the next single crochet, you're going to make your baby shell. In your next shell, you're going to go into that chain 2 space and make a single crochet. In the next single crochet, you're going to make your baby shell. And then when you get to the very end, you should have one baby shell left. And again, you just want to go right in between that chain 2 and make a single crochet. And again, when you have 2 rows, this is what your rows will look like with the offsetting shells. So again, you have one shell here, and then you have one shell on either side. Okay, so now you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And in that very first stitch, which is your single crochet right here, you're going to make a shell stitch. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. When you get to your next shell, you're going to make a single crochet. When you get to the next stitch, you're going to skip that single crochet right here, which is part of your shell, and in the single crochet after that, you're going to make your baby shell. Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. In your next shell, you're going to find that chain 2 space and make a single crochet. So again, you're just going to alternate this all the way across your blanket and just alternating single crochet and the baby shell stitch. Now you do want to take your time with this if you've never done a shell stitch before. You just want to make sure that you make your shells in the appropriate places so that way everything stays in balance. Okay, and then when you come up to the end, you have your single crochet right here. You're going to make your final shell. And this is what 3 rows looks like. So again, when you do each row, you're going to have the shell offsetting each other, so that way it forms that nice little wavy pattern. And as you can see, it provides plenty of warmth and texture because there's not as many holes as maybe you would see in a different shell stitch pattern. So that's why I like the shell stitch design, because I feel like a lot of them are tightly together just like this. They form that beautiful shell or wavy look to it, but the blanket or the scarf or whatever you make with this is pretty close together and it keeps you nice and warm. So to move on, for the baby shell blanket, you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 until you get about 29 inches for your blanket or your desired length. So again, to repeat the directions, you're going to repeat rows 2 and 3 over and over again. So for row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn, and in that very first shell, you're going to make a single crochet in that chain 2 space. You're going to find that single crochet and make your baby shell. So I'm going to be doing a couple more rows just to get my little swatch a little bit bigger, and then I will move on to the border and show you how to add the border to your blanket. Now if you don't want to add a border, you can simply omit that. You don't have to make a border for this blanket if you don't like to, but if you want to make the border, then complete your blanket to the size that you would like, and then I will come back and show you how to make that double crochet border for your baby shell blanket. Okay, so here is what my swatch looks like. So once you reach the desired length of your blanket, all you're going to do is just chain up 2 and turn your work. And in each of the stitches across, you just want to make a double crochet. Now you want to make them as evenly as you can, and you don't want to make too many in each row, otherwise your blanket's going to kind of buckle a little bit. So just make them as even as possible. So to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over your hook, and in that very first single crochet, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that is your double crochet. So you have your single crochet right here, which is your first stitch of your shell. So you're just going to work into that very first stitch, and again make a double crochet. Now I'm going to actually skip over this chain 2 space and work in the very next single crochet. So again, yarn over your hook, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And then I'm just going to do this as evenly as possible, skipping that chain 2 space. So just working in those single crochets. You're going to skip all the chain 2 spaces. Again, if you want to skip the border altogether, you can certainly do so. The blanket will look very beautiful with or without the with or without the border. So it's really up to you and how you want to complete your blanket. So again, just do 1 single crochet in each stitch across the top of your blanket, skipping over those chain 2 spaces. When you get to the very end of your blanket, you should have a single crochet. So you're going to make 3 double crochets all in that same corner space, and that will help round out your blanket very nicely. So 2 and 3. Turn your blanket a little bit, and you're going to be working down the side of your blanket. Now again, you're going to make 1 double crochet in each stitch across, making sure that the stitches are as even as possible. So I'm just going to go into that last single crochet and kind of just eyeball it and keep it as even as I possibly can. So it looks like 1 double crochet per row, and that will help keep things even. Okay, when you get to the very end, just move this tail out of the way. When you get to the very end, you're going to make that next corner. So again, 3 double crochets all in that corner. And as you can see, it rounded out that corner nicely over here. So you just want to continue with this around the entire blanket. So on the bottom of your blanket, you're just going to make 1 double crochet in each of the stitches across. And then next corner, you're going to make 3 double crochets. And then when you get to the side of your blanket, you're going to make 1 double crochet per row. And then I will show you how to end with this corner over here and fasten off, and you will be completed with your blanket. Okay, so I'm coming up on my last corner. So this is the first double crochet that you made. So in that same stitch, you're going to make 2 more double crochets to round out that corner. And then you're simply going to turn your work and find that first double crochet, which is right here, and you're just going to slip stitch that together, and then you would fasten off, leaving a little bit of a tail to weave in, and then you're basically complete with your blanket. So this is what my swatch looks like, and as you can see, the shells really have that nice texture to it. And then you have your double crochet border, which again is optional if you wanted to do that. So if we take a look at that blanket again, you can see all the texture that this baby shell makes. So I really enjoyed making this blanket a lot, and I can see myself making this again in the near future. So thank you so much for joining me on how to make the baby shell blanket today. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Please comment below, and please subscribe to see all future videos by me. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!